going on, everyone? This is Fighting Words with Kevin Shelz. I'm Shelz.
Kev, 8 Count Sports.
Yes, sir. What's going on, bro?
Double salute. It's been a long time,
Double
bro.
salute for Pat Hard, bro. We got coming up,
Woo!
Kev.
So much to talk about. UFC 285.
The
John
return.
Jones versus, the return
Return.
of the legend.
The
A
legend.
bit
the living
controversial legend, but legend
Controversial.
nonetheless.
Asterisk like a mug. Go
But
nonetheless.
definitely,
Wonder
what
Man
you love
leaves.
my head, and you can't deny John Jones. He's back
Exactly.
against Cyril Gane.
Mm-hmm.
This is for the heavyweight championship of the world. I mean, you can put an asterisk on that too, in a sense.
Funny thing, you said controversy, and even this is outside of his power. This fight in itself is controversial because of how it came up.
Right.
We had the actual heavyweight champ, the legit heavyweight champ, Francis Ngannou, walking out on the UFC after a heated contract dispute with the organization. And then, like I said, said it what you said?
For the record, I just want to say I was right. I remember a time back you have Ngannou on the pound for pound list, and I was telling you then he wasn't fighting again. You were talking about due to injury, and I'm like, due to what?
That was the story though, and that was true. He was injured. He was injured.
I guess so.
I mean, at this point, his ego's injured right now because the UFC moved on without him, and they're taking the guy that he beat, the very guy who the UFC was like, it was like if he lost to this gentleman in Cyril Gane, then his negotiation situation would have been even worse than it was.
Right.
Beforehand. So the fact that they're taking him to fight John Jones is like, to me, it's like a.
You think they had another choice? I mean, Gane beat Tuivasa.
You don't think they could have pulled Stipe out? Because Stipe right now is waiting.
Stipe want to fight?
Who the winner is?
Does Stipe want to fight?
Stipe say he want the winner between Gane and Jones.
I feel like I'm gonna be real with you when I say this, and I don't have proof. This is just my opinion. I feel like Stipe didn't want the Francis smoke. And now that and because Francis' name was in the conversation, now that name is out of here, now he's
that's crazy.
Hey, don't forget about me.
That's if that's true,
he had no answers, bro, for Francis.
No. I
mean,
I'm going with you on this, but I'm saying if that's true, once Ngannou left, why not jump in place to replace him instead of having Gane do it?
But bro, those announcements was back to back. When Ngannou, remember, when they finally made it official that it fell through with Ngannou, that might have been the same press conference they were talking about Jones and Gane. You know what I'm saying? So who knows what they were saying to Stipe? Stipe might have thought, but to me it looked like now that Francis,
that is crazy funny. That's like you know what, like you in a circle of friends and like someone cracking on you and somebody laughing too and say, what you laughing at? But he made the joke, but you get that dude who's laughing. And you want no smoke with that dude who's cutting your ass.
And Ngannou's laughing all day. This is an interesting fight. This is one thing I said. We talked about this last year when Gane was fighting and Ngannou, when the threat of Ngannou was leaving. This was last year, and I remember one of the points mentioning to you, and I think we probably agreed on it. I felt that at the time, for the UFC to save face, they needed out of John Jones somebody that didn't lose to Ngannou to come to the forefront. And with Gane kind of losing to him, the names were Tuivasa and John Jones. I remember saying, like, if one of them become champs, then you can make the claim that you have the heavyweight champion of the world. Right now, the glass is kind of half full because we have John Jones, but then you have Gane, who took an L to Ngannou. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny?
I don't think you could put him over.
I get why you say that, but I don't even totally agree because to me, Ngannou will always be that shadow. Because he's still actively fighting. If he retired, that's different. But for him to still be out there, especially if he goes out there into boxing and starts knocking dudes out, he'll always be that shadow over the heavyweight division in the UFC. Yeah, he'll always be that shadow. But what do you think about the fight, though? The present fight, Jones versus Gane. What do you think, bro?
This is, to me, and this may sound crazy, as great as Jon Jones is a pick'em fight. It's a pick'em fight.
I agree with you. I ain't mad at that.
I think you always say
ring rust.
Talk about ring rust. 4 years, and the thing about the 4 years is that the two fights prior to the 4 years, he didn't look good, and that's the part that kind of bothers me. Then you packing on all this weight, so I mean, were you stagnant because you were slow, because you were lighter in weight, or is this weight going to really make you even more sluggish? I mean, there's so many questions. 5 rounds. On the flip side of it, for Jones, if we talk about keys to victory, I mean, if Francis Ngannou was able to out wrestle Gane, I could only imagine what Jon Jones would be able to do. You know what I'm saying? So I could only that it might be established. So he might get stopped. So it's a pick'em fight in a sense. But those are my immediate thoughts about this fight. How about you?
My immediate thoughts is, even though we all wanted the Ngannou Jones fight, that's what we all wanted that one. Mm-hmm. It was the big three: Francis, Jon, Stipe.
Yeah.
That was the big three. Either one of those would have been. That's what I would have preferred to see, just on surface value.
Yeah.
With this situation, my very first reaction was, "Damn, you telling me you gonna replace Ngannou with the guy that Ngannou beat?" That was my very first reaction.
Yeah.
But then I thought about it and said, "Yo, this fight may be more exciting because it's gonna be a more technical fight."
Right.
Because the way Gane moves in the heavyweight division is the way Jon Jones used to move in the light heavyweight division. So in a way, I'm not. If we take away the ring rust and the added pounds that Jon's is putting on right now, in a way it's like he's fighting his own self. The closest, because we always said that the way to beat Jon Jones is to find a guy with the same body type who could move like him, long like. That's why we also remember when I had the Johnny Walker situation where I thought he would have been the one to solve the riddle, because that's what I saw. Mm-hmm. I see that in Gane too, that he moves fast. Mm-hmm. He's a striker. He's agile. He's long. Like, yes. Ngannou of course had these things too, but Ngannou to me was more of a knockout artist.
Yeah.
But what I would say about Gane is, because we do talk about the wrestling, he was having trouble wrestling from Francis, so we only can imagine what Jon Jones could do if Jon Jones was able to bring him to the ground and keep him there. That's the main question to me, because if he doesn't, then he'll be on the feet and they'll be striking each other. And to me, that's just as exciting, because that's when you get into the real technicalities of both of them.
Right.
That's not something you could really have said about the Francis Jones fight if that had happened. So to me, I'm excited about it just on that, like the technicality. We're gonna really see, and we seen Gane push to the limit when he fought his last win with Tuivasa. We seen him that he could recover from it. So
he took a few.
He took a few, so we know that he could go the distance. We know Jon Jones is, come on. What he done in the light division, besides the last few fights, can't be questioned. Like, we know he's gonna go all the way with it. So to me, it could be a barn burner, bro.
Yeah, it could be. It could be
a barn burner. If unless you said, like you said, if Gane don't knock him out, it'd be crazy surprising if Jones knocks him out. That'd be crazy. If Jones knocks him out, you gotta put a goat's head on his head. Like
one hit a quitter knockout?
One hit a quitter knockout. If he does that, cut a goat head off and put it on Jon Jones and carry him off like the Greek gods or whatever. But that's to me that's gonna make an exciting fight. That's what's gonna be exciting about it.
The styles, I think there's styles.
It's the whole, like you said, everything. Styles make fight.
The styles, the everything, the layout, the story behind it, everything about it. With that being said,
who want to go first?
I was about to say the same thing.
So you want me to go first? You go first. You
go first. It's a pick'em fight, but between the ring rust, Jon Jones, the way he looked in his last two, the fight that stands out to me with Jon Jones in his last two fight was the Thiago Santos fight. He was able in that fight to keep Jones at bay. with striking, with his kick, with his distance. He was able, and I think he tore his ACL that fight. He was able to keep John Jones off of him. I kind of felt like in that fight, and also in the Dominic Reyes fight, it looked like Jones lost a step. I'm just being honest with you. If he looked like he lost a step, like they had him reactive in a way that he really couldn't get an offensive, and that's the to me the signs of a fighter that's getting a little older that needs to make some sorts of adjustments. I think in this fight going against Gane, those are the same issues he's gonna have, and Gane is a better striker to me than Santos. I think he uses his distance way better, and I don't know if moving up, gaining 60 some odd pounds is gonna make. I don't see how he's gonna reflex wise be able to react to that. So I'm going with Gane by decision.
I was gonna say, adding to what you said about striking, I think Gane's the best striker in the heavyweight division.
No, yeah, exactly.
He's the best striking to him. Like
when I say striking, like when I say striking is, sometimes like in boxing and when a guy comes from a lower weight class and he goes to a higher weight class when you're dealing with striking, sometimes the reflexes follow him up there. And their speed kind of follows him up there. It's not always. Sometimes if you carry the weight well enough, you've seen that in the Volkanovski fight. He didn't lose a step. The thing with Jones is that he looked like in those last two fights. The reason why those two fighters, Reyes and Santos, looked good. It looked like he couldn't. They kept him at bay, kind of, because he just wasn't. It was like he lost a step. He reflexes he couldn't capitalize on much, and those fights turned out being lackluster. So I don't know how I don't see him. I'm not saying he's washed, bro. I just think he lost a step. And that was 4 years ago. So I don't. This Gane is younger, and I'm pretty sure that they've made some adjustments. So I go with Gane by decision.
Yeah.
Go with Gane by decision.
Yo, you know what? I agree with you. To me, it all boils down to Jones's wrestling.
Yeah.
Which I believe Gundam is already expecting, because number one, because how should I put this? They already know that like if you look at Gane's tool set and Jones's tool set, the deficiency is Gane's wrestling ability and Jones' wrestling ability. That's where Gane is weaker, and that's where we know Jones is strong. So I'm pretty sure they're working on that. Number one. Yeah. And number two, especially after the fight against Ngannou, how they lost it. You know what I'm saying? They come from that experience, and so it's going to be less of a surprise to him. I'm pretty sure that was added to his tool set even before he was unprepared to fight John Jones. Even if before he knew he was supposed to fight John Jones, he just lost to Ngannou through wrestling, through subpar wrestling.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure they went back to the drum and said, look, we got to strengthen this part of your tool set. So I think he's going to come with that. And the question is, again, is John Jones going to be able to take him down and keep him there? That's the main question.
Right.
And you said 4 years. He's 4 years older. He's 4 years older. He's not a young dude. He's 4 years older. And he's coming in there heavier. Older and heavier. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Usually when people become older, we tell them hang it up. Yeah. But he purposely, but not in his situation. But usually when a fighter's like, as they get older, they get heavy, we say those confident. It's not in the case with him because he decided to take that time off. Right. And he purposely put that weight on. Yeah. But he is older and he's heavier now. It's a new weight division for him.
Yeah.
There's no information to answer that question of what his wrestling's gonna do. We're not gonna know to the night of.
Yeah, it's a night of.
And if I had to bet my last dollar on it, to keep a man down who's naturally at that weight class, who's already comfortable in that weight class, who's already comfortable with how he moves. He putting in John Jones there, this is his first time ever. It's like, yeah, man, I think it's gonna be a war. What I feel is gonna happen is John Jones not gonna be able to. What I feel more like is going to happen, John Jones going to try to take him down. He's not going to be able to, and they're going to be on their feet. And it's going to be a barn burner, but I think it's going to be a barn burner. But I think Gane's going to come out on top.
All right. Decision?
bro. I'm gonna give split decision.
Split decision. Let me ask you a question. You got split decision. I got decision for Gane. I was
no, I
thinking
got
about
for
this.
Gane too. I'm saying that I feel it's gonna be such of a close fight. It's gonna be a split decision for Gane.
Yeah, we both got Gane. No problem. Let me ask you something. Because I was thinking about this and I was gonna just give an answer, but I'm gonna ask you about this because this was gonna be one of my keys to victory. But just so straight up, a loss for Jon Jones right here. Does this hurt his legacy?
Nah.
Does that remove him from GOAT status or asterisk GOAT status or whatever?
Well, I think this
is very interesting.
I'm gonna answer your question with a question.
Yeah.
Did Volk's loss ruin his legacy? Did Israel Adesanya's loss ruin his legacy when they moved up a weight division?
Let me answer that. So when we talk about Jon Jones, we refer to him as the GOAT, right? I mean, Volkanovski, I never said he was the GOAT. I say he's pound for pound the best. I don't think he's pound for pound the best right now, and that's a whole nother discussion. But I still thought at the time, I still had Israel Adesanya at on my pound for pound list as at the current time after the loss. I still had him on the list. We talking about that's not greatest of all time. I didn't have any of the two of those in that discussion. Jon Jones is in that discussion. So if he was the greatest of all time, and there's other guys that became champ, and in his one opportunity he didn't become that. Does he get killed for that? Does he get killed for that?
I like that point.
Along with the other stuff?
I like that point.
You know, it ain't a thing where right now it's let's be honest. As far as his GOAT status is an asterisk. It's not personal. I like Jon Jones. I think
you're right. No, it's true.
Half the crowd is saying one thing. We know that. It's not consensus. Like it's not a consensus that everybody agrees with. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying he's in that conversation. This is the conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
Does a champ loss? I mean, at the opportunity to become champ loss, does that knock him off the perch?
Let me give you a more direct answer. It depends on how he loses. If he loses in a way where it's so controversial, where people are still arguing after the fact that who won, who didn't win, one of those type fights like the Volk Islam fight, where
clearly
we're gonna it's left to the judges and no one agrees with what the judges say. But if it's a clear loss,
I'm talking about we're not. That's obvious.
Okay, that's what I'm at.
Clear. I'm talking
knockout on the floor.
No, I'm talking about clear. Even if it's a whitewash decision, even if it's a competitive loss.
Competitive, gotcha.
It don't matter. I mean, obviously the optics matter. If he gets knocked out, that I don't care what nobody says. You can't wipe that visual away. But if a clear loss, whether it be not
in regards to a clear loss, because at the end of the day, when we give someone GOAT status, right, we're giving them GOAT status based on how they're performing and how they leave afterwards. So that being said, let's say he has a clear loss, right? If he remains in that weight division and comes back better than ever, right? Comes back and says, you know what, that was my first time. It was such and such. And he comes back, he redeems himself. You have to keep the GOAT status on him.
I'm talking about after the events.
After that night
on Saturday night. Look, anybody could come back. I'm not anybody, but
you don't sound like I'm dodging the question.
Yeah, like you want to just here, I still got the go ahead for you. Come back around now. After Saturday night.
Y'all sound like an apologist for the dude like that.
We
gotta wait and see.
When we talked about Izzy and all of that, it wasn't a GOAT situation, but I mean, you had him off the list altogether for the attempt.
Pound for pound, I did.
And he lapped that division. That was prior to Pereira and all of that. And I'm pretty sure. I mean, Volkanovski, with that loss, he's not number one pound for pound currently. I mean, to me, I know the rankings for some reason they still got him there, but well, how do you feel about that? Is he still the GOAT? GOAT head GOAT?
Honestly, if after that night, he wouldn't happen after that night. It's still the option still be open for him. Like I said, if he himself, he'll get it. But after that night, he will still be known as the greatest light heavyweight of all time, but the greatest MMA fighter of all time.
Not so much.
It might
regardless of the resume and all of the
because I'm gonna go to another sport. Jordan went 6 for 6.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There is no, but then you got people who say LeBron's a GOAT and he had
up and
he
down,
didn't always come on top.
Ups and downs.
He had his ups and downs.
He has his ups and downs.
So me personally, I'll put it'll be in question. It'll be in question.
It'll be in question.
It'll be in question.
Yeah,
but then who be who we give it that title to then?
Great question.
GSP?
It's a great question. That is a great question. What happens after that? Because,
you know what I'm saying,
bro, I just think.
Are you trying to say he would no longer be in the conversation?
I'm talking about number one because we don't talk about John Jones in regards to top 5. We talk about number one. When
we say he's the guy. Yeah, he's the guy.
Yeah. If it was top 5, I mean,
if this a Mount Rushmore, Washington's looking that way, everybody's looking straight.
We told him being number one. It's to me, bro. I feel like in this era of social media and everything like that, I think he's gonna get canned if he loses this fight.
Oh yeah.
I think it's so much different now than prior. Like I think he's gonna get canned. So I feel like that perception, media controls that narrative a lot of times, the way you see things. I think he's gonna take a hit off of that. DC did it. There's so much controversy between their fights. And then we talk about bro, we have some of the greatest fighters. For him to have the opportunity to prove it and fall short, and there's other people on the list that did do it, I think that it puts it into question. I think it kind of jeopardizes. And then what it is, you see, if there was no asterisk and we just had what we had and it was John Jones, nothing ever happened, it would be different. It would be a total. He would be so far lapping the field, it wouldn't be a question. But to have we already saying it's an asterisk, and then he take an L, it would like.
Nah,
I'm gonna be real with you when I say this, and I don't mean to be unfair when I say this. I feel like whenever an athlete fails a drug, especially a great athlete, I feel like everybody's waiting for that shoe to drop to say, "Oh, see,
you did,
it's there, bro.
It's there."
I am telling you, it's there. Everybody in the back of their head is waiting.
They waiting.
I'm telling you, it's like it's something that
I agree with that. I get that too. I get that. I'm just gonna say it doesn't matter because the visual of that clear loss, I think it would affect his legacy regardless.
Period.
But the asterisk does put more weight on it. The asterisk would put more weight on it. Yeah. DC would have a field day.
What?
DC would have a field day. But let me ask you a question about the asterisk situation. You heard about you started saying that if you
it's legal now, right? Or something. So they gonna give him this win back against DC? I'm totally.
So no. But here's the question though. So if they're changing their rules, right? And the rules was originally the reason why his usage was highlighted. So no, here's a question.
Man, steroids are so great, bro.
Does the asterisk still count then? If you started saying like, yo, the science is messed up, the science is not. It shouldn't.
It shouldn't count. You should have that win on DC and be light 2-time light heavy. I think he already won it 2 times, but it shouldn't have been an issue.
So would it still be an issue if he loses this because the picogram situation?
They already smeared it, bro. He done been suspended for it. Are they gonna reverse it and say he won? You heard the UFC come out and say that? They already smeared smear campaign. They already
smeared. It's too late, right?
He been suspended for it. I mean, it's just a mess, bro. And steroids is a gray area, bro. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, to me, there's people that's taking stuff right now that's not on the steroid list. I believe that's straight up. That's not on the steroid list, and when it pop up on the list, they gonna stop taking. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
You know how I think they tested Yuri like 73 times last year, something like that. That's probably one of the dudes like he's on like 73 times, bro.
Ooh, Yuri, you said?
Prohaska, Yuri Prohaska.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they think he.
But they probably say, yo, nah, he has ass. They probably like he probably went to wrestle. Peekaboo, we got you. Come right here. Come here, bro. Come, bro. In the cup. They're trying to catch dude. But all right, well. Saturday night, we'll see.
We'll see what it is.